Great. As Ben said, Greg Byrne, I oversee the sort of transaction aspects of the RAD conversions, and I'll introduce our panels in just a second. But the panel is planning for success. So for now, what we want to do in the next hour is really speak to the larger strategic decisions that as a PHA you'll need to address very early in the RAD process. These are things that are really going to drive what you do over the next 6, 9, 12, 18 months. We really want you to get these decisions out of the way early so you can really start working on your various submissions required in your financing plan and otherwise get your deal closed in a reasonable period of time. So for this panel, we're not going to talk about the specifics of, say, what a Phase 1 environmental site assessment is, or how to augment rents with RHF funds. Those type of things we'll cover in topics in more depth later in the conference. So what are some of these strategic decisions that are critical? So I'm just going to list them right now, and then in a moment I'll introduce the panels and we'll get into them. So what we're going to be talking about shortly is how do you define what is your project? What are you actually trying to do with your asset? How are you trying to finance your conversion? What form of Section 8 are you going to choose? PBRA versus PBV? Do you plan to self-develop? Do you plan to self-manage? And a very lofty question for those who are eligible, if your property also qualifies for Section 18, what do you do? Do you go RAD, do you go Section 18, or do you do some combination of it? And we try to be as flexible as possible to allow you to meet your local needs when you come to that sort of decision. Okay. So, and because this conference is really aimed at new awardees, we're not here to sort of sell you on the program, we're here to help you get through the finish line. We really want you to get these decisions made really before you get your CHAP or immediately thereafter, right? We want you to sort of get these cleared out so you can work on your others. But unfortunately, we've seen a lot of PHAs struggle for a long time over some of these issues. And those delays cause delays in your transactions, which in the words of a recently retired Dan Sullivan, gets us grumpy, you know, and because we like you to move quickly through your transaction. So anyway, to help those in the audience learn better, I have on the panel with me this morning two very experienced PHAs, or sort of RAD alumni. So on my immediate left is Ann Gass. Ann is the Director of Strategic Housing Initiatives for the Austin, Texas Housing Authority. Austin is well on its way to converting its entire public housing program to RAD. To her left is Sandra Hudson, the Executive Director of the Northwest Georgia Housing Authority. And Northwest Georgia has got their feet wet. They've converted one property. They've got CHAPs on a couple others, and they're contemplating, but still making decisions and struggling and trying to decide what to do with the remaining 500 units in their inventory, which is a very real situation, right? To say, I'm still trying to see how RAD works for the rest of my inventory. So Ann and Sandra have been down this road already, and they're extremely familiar with these issues. But we're also joined by Jane Hornstein, who oversees the Special Applications Center, or what is known in the industry as the SAC, in Chicago, and she's responsible for approving all Section 18 applications for demolition and disposition of public housing. Jane's been extremely busy over the past few months issuing new Section 18 guidance and otherwise providing technical assistance to PHAs on the decision about what to do with Section 8 and how likely their applications will be approved or not. And we're going to be hearing from Jane shortly because of the increasing connections between RAD and Section 18. Okay, so before we get into the 7 topics that I mentioned, that I wanted Ann and Sandra to spend a few moments, 5 or 10 minutes, giving a quick overview of their agencies, which will be helpful when we get into sort of the background of sort of the 7 topics we'll go through. So Ann and Sandy, we're going to start with Ann, and do you want to run the show? Okay, so just click to the right.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks for inviting us, Greg. It's funny, in an industry where so many of us have been doing this for 10, 20, 30, 40 years, being up here as an experienced PHA, having done this for 2.5 years seems a little odd, but with the new program, I guess that's the way it works. So the city of Austin has, I think we just passed the 1 million mark of population, but our metro area is about 2 million. Just want to give you a little sense of the size of our agency. So we are converting 1,839 public housing units. We've got, actually, we just passed 11,000 on our waiting list for public housing, and then we have just over 6,000 vouchers. We are down to less than 1,000. We did a lottery 3 years ago, pulled 2,500 off a waiting list. We're down to 1,000. We were considering opening the waiting list in October and decided against it because choice mobility, which is something I'm sure we'll hear a lot about on this next 2 days, is coming up for us for the first 682 units in October. So we're going to see how that impacts our voucher rolls, and then we'll probably open the waiting list again here soon. We have converted almost 1,100 units since November of 2016. As you can see, a little less than half we did with 4% tax credits. We did pretty deep rehabs, and then we did just over half as just debt with a very light rehab. We have another 781 under CHAPS, and we're working our way through those. 220 units, assuming the awards go our way, will be 9% awards, and the other 500 and change will be more debt-light rehab. So we have a little bit of everything, so I wanted to highlight just a few properties to kind of give you an idea of what we're looking at. So Thurmond Heights is a property in North Austin, built in '72. It's 144 units. We are doing this as a very, very light rehab. We've spent, what did I say, $9 million in CFP funds on this property over the last 4 years, working on units and the site. So there really wasn't much left to do. The little bit that we're doing involves the community center. It's the only place left in the property that has asbestos and lead-based paint and all those fun things. So we're going to take this opportunity to get rid of all that, to make it fully accessible, but very, very little work, because this property really has had its rehab done within the last few years. Gaston Place, on the other hand, had asbestos in the walls, the ceilings, and the floors. It had bad plumbing, it had bad electric. So we decided to do a 4% rehab on this 100-unit senior property, so it's down to the studs. The residents were relocated a wing at a time out of a 4-wing building. That is about halfway done. We plan to have that done by Christmas. And then we're also doing a lot of work to the community area, again, abating a new roof, new siding. It's a really, really deep rehab at Gaston Place. And I like showing before and after pictures. We took down the wall that separated the kitchen, just really opened it up. So it's just fun to see the pretty sometimes. And then this Goodrich Place was built in '73. It's currently 40 units. And the thing that I like to highlight about Goodrich Place, remember, I'm from Austin, Texas. I think it's going to be 94 today. It's May, and these families live without central air conditioning. So that alone is a reason to tear this property down. And the other nice thing about Goodrich Place, the other opportunity for us is it is in a very high opportunity area. If you know Austin, it's just off of South Lamar. It's in a fabulous area, not a lot of affordable housing down there, great schools. So we're going to increase density to 120 units, do 80 units of affordable. And that will break ground, if all goes well, next month. Oh, and there's a pretty new picture of Goodrich Place. The only other thing I wanted to highlight, and I think it was Tom that mentioned this is an awfully tough process for the residents. Learning new programs, am I going to get kicked out? Is my rent going to go up? Where am I going to go while I move? Do I get to come back? How are my kids going to deal with school? What if I have a balance with the utility provider when you move my utilities? So our president and CEO, Mike Gerber, who in his infinite wisdom said, I'm going to put together a resident protection team. So all of these groups that you see here, the Tenants Council, the utilities, the schools, Austin Travis County Integral Care, Boys and Girls Clubs, we meet monthly with these folks. And if something arises that challenges one of our residents, this team gets together to figure out a solution. We had a resident who was refusing to move because there was a ghost in her unit. and it's and she just couldn't handle the idea of moving. And so we brought together this team of people and talked through it, and were able to bring her the help she needed, and she became comfortable with the idea, which was exactly what we want to have happen. So I just wanted to give a shout out to our resident protection team. I think it was a great model and something I would encourage other housing authorities to do.
And that was great. So now we'll turn to Sandra from Northwest Georgia, and she's going to give us a preview of what she's been facing. Is it green? There you
There
go.
we go, there we go. The Northwest Georgia Housing Authority, I've been working with the Housing Authority for over 20 years, and I have seen a huge decrease in subsidy and capital funds. So this was one of the reasons that the Housing Authority decided to go RAD. And it has been wonderful for the Housing Authority. It's given us an opportunity to basically upgrade our units and get away from the housing projects. So when you pass by any of our apartments and you will see a picture of them, no way you would know whether or not these are public housing. We've done away with the block walls. We have central heat and air because our residents had a hard time paying the gas bills. So this is, like I said, this has been great for the Housing Authority. We've had a lot of experience and I think this is good for what we're doing today, because it's a challenge when you start looking for your co-developer, when you look and see whether or not you want to manage, or you want somebody else to manage your property, or when you decide whether or not you want to even be your construction company to build your own units. I'm gonna go ahead and start. I guess I haven't done this before, so y'all bear with me. Here. This is my first presentation, so y'all be patient with me, okay? Okay. We have 923 units. We've converted 96, and we're in the process of trying to manage those 96. The investor's given us a year, and then he's going to allow us to manage. We found out that others do not manage the way we do. I've written through and seen paper. We don't allow paper on our grounds. I've seen grills on the front yard, so we prefer managing our own property, which may be a challenge for you all as well. We have 201 units now that's part of CHAP. One is a high-rise that we're going to convert 25 of those units to personal care homes, so our elderly can rest in place. And I sort of took this idea from Florida, and he recommended that you wanted to be tax credit first, not tax credit, but project-based before you decide to do that. 76 of our units are now, which is phase 2. We hope to get a CHAP award for that next week. And we have 550 units that we definitely would probably looking towards basically converting to RAD. We have 741 housing choice vouchers, and we have 437 that are regular, etc. Okay, now, how do I go to the
One to the right.
this one? Okay.
Oops, you skipped over one.
Skip one?
There you go. There you go.
Okay. This here is our high-rise, I'm sorry, y'all. This is our high-rise choice-height homes. We have 101 units, and 24 of these units will be designated personal care home. And we hope to close on this tax credit. It's a 4% tax credit. We want to close sometime in June. This is Parks Home, another one of our developments that still has the block walls, etc. We have a lot of problems here, so we hope to close on this project as well in June. This is Choice-Height Homes, Willingham Village Phase 1. And if you can see, we have the rock columns. On the inside, we have ceramic tile floors all the way through that look like hardwood floors. We have hardwood cabinets, we have granite countertops, we have dishwashers, and we also have garbage disposal. These are very, very nice on the inside. This is Joe Wright Village, one of our new projects that we're doing that I would definitely convert to RAD, so it can be Section 8. With Section 8, we know that we're going to have 20 years commitment for Section 8, where, as I've stated, with our subsidy, it continues to decrease. We have single-family homes, plus we have apartments, duplex apartments. There will be 28 units. These houses and the apartments have ceramic flooring. The houses have hardwood flooring. And we have granite, we have crown mold, and they are gorgeous on the inside. You would not know that these are public housing. Let me go back to live in these units, you have to have income. So you have to work. Most of our residents who we have moved from other developments that we really need to renovate, is paying $500 and $600 a month rent, flat rent. They're the ones who are moving into these houses. Then we are a HUD-approved housing counseling agency that we're urging them to purchase their own home, and we're working with them with credit repair. This is some more units that we build. Jackson Square, we use CDBG, home funds, and capital funds. Of course, that's why we had to go RAD. There's no money out there. As capital fund, it's just really going down. But with the home funds and with the CDBG, we were able to work with our city officials to build those. The ones to your right, homes at Avenue B, that was a foreclosed property. Again, we were able to use that R money back then to renovate that and purchase that building. And Village Green, that was a grant. It was sure people in Capitol office are aware of that grant that came out where we were able to build 10 units there. Then we have the Willingham at Division. These are the ones that we don't have to do any renovation to. So it's standing to reason that eventually we would basically transfer those or try to get the Section 8 vouchers. I think that's it, yeah.
Sandra, thanks, that was great. That was a helpful sort of get a sense of the flavor of what both of these agencies are dealing with. So our first topic we're going to talk about is how do you define your RAD project? And at first, this might seem like an odd or an absurd issue. A project is a project, right? Right? Isn't a project a project? Well, not so fast. About 10 years ago, under the early implementation of the operating fund rule for public housing, also known as public housing's conversion to asset management, all PHAs were asked to look at their developments and try to assemble them into asset management projects or AMPs. And unfortunately, this exercise was not always a complete success. And consequently, there may be reasons why your RAD conversion either may not or should not be equated with an existing AMP. You might be combining AMPs, you might be splitting AMPs, or you might be mixing and matching. But don't just presume that the AMP is the project that makes the most sense. So under RAD, we sort of follow a protocol from FHA and a terminology that says a single, manageable, marketable entity. That's sort of what we consider a project, a single, manageable, marketable entity. And that allows, of course, for some flexibility. But why is it important at this stage? Because what we don't want is for you to go down this route too far and you get to the point where you submit a financing plan only for us to learn that that site grouping is problematic, that it really doesn't represent what we would consider a project. So I'm going to turn to our panelists here for a sec and say, so Ann, did you end up for your RAD transactions, was it always the AMP that you converted, or how did you decide what made up the project?
No, we didn't stick entirely with the AMP, and I've got two examples of that. One, Goodrich Place, one of the properties that I showed you, was part of what I would call a 4-property AMP. They were little properties, 40 units, 2 33-unit properties, and some scattered sites. And so it made a good AMP, but it didn't make 4 good RAD projects. So we split those projects up. We put the scattered sites with another deal where we're adding density. We split the other 3 AMPs up. Part of the reason for that was because it just made sense. Geographically, they were all in South Austin, but they weren't, I would not call them a single manageable entity at all. And the other thing was we wanted to do different things. So we did, one is a straight debt no rehab, I call it a straight conversion, but a debt no rehab conversion, one is a 4% deal and one is a 9% deal. So we wanted to do different things. The other example was an AMP, Rosewood Courts and Selena Apartments. And they were an AMP in public housing because they're right across the street from each other. Only one of them had an office, so they were managed out of the same office. But one is an elderly property and one is a family property. And in Texas, it's very problematic to do tax credits with those 2 different kinds of populations. I think it's actually impossible. They've recently changed the rules. So for that reason, we had to pull those 2 apart, and we're doing those separately.
Great, great. Sandra, any experiences from Northwest Georgia?
Yes, when I was first
Put that mic closer, sorry, to you. Turn it on.
Go again. With our first development, Willingham at Division Street, Willingham Village. We had 25, there were 176 units. We only had money to renovate 25. So we knew it was going to take us 20 years to renovate those units. Then came RAD. So we were able then to do a phase one, and that's how we completed phase one. And we met with our resident advisory committee, in which we meet monthly, and that's how we decided to renovate the others. We did a physical need assessment, and we knew exactly which ones we needed to renovate.
So thanks, I'm glad you reminded me of that. So the other thing that we allow under RAD is these multi-phase conversions. And so a PHA may say, I really need to get 9% credits to sort of really redevelop this property, but it's going to take me 4 or 5 years to do that. And we say, fine, you can do that in phases, but if you're going to do a multi-phase transaction, talk to us early on and talk to your local PIH field office, because while we encourage phases, it's the how you package and group those units in the phase, because we don't want you to just pick a unit here in this northwest and that one over here and there. That's not a project. So if you can find a way to sort of take a piece of the project that's easily, and we say cleanly severable, that if you're going to do a phase, that you know that you can sort of draw a circle around it and say, yes, if the rest of it never gets redeveloped, that's still a project, and that you don't leave the public housing project with something that's unmanageable afterwards. So with phases, always make sure you coordinate with us to make sure that you have a proper sort of delineation of the first phase. And just the only last thing I want to say on this particular thing about project is scattered sites are always problematic. Right? So actually the number one official name for projects around the country in public housing is scattered sites. It's like you go through PIC and you see such names that are called scattered sites, and scattered sites can be almost anything. But if you're doing FHA loan, by all means, please have your lender discussing this on the concept call with FHA to see if they're comfortable with financing a scattered site. What is it? What is your scattered site? What does it really represent? Is it 15 or 20 single-family homes in the same neighborhood, or is it scattered all across town? Each one of these raises separate problematic issues, and just the more you can talk to us early on about it, the more we can help you figure out what's the best way to treat those scattered sites. Okay, so if that's now, let's assume you've figured out what your project is, then the next is, what do you want to do with that asset? You could say there's really 4 major approaches to what you do with your asset under RAD. And for sake of argument, I've given them 4 names here. The first is, I just want to preserve it. The property, I saw some with Ann's, but I saw several with Sandra's, where the asset's a really nice asset today. I don't need to really repair it. I just want to put it on a stable platform for the next 20 years. So I'm trying to preserve it. So sometimes people call those radomatics, right? That, just let me convert that tomorrow. The other is when I'm trying to rehab it, and whether that's 15,000 unit rehab or 80,000 unit rehab. The third is, oh no, I need much more than rehab. I need to redevelop the site. I need to knock it down or down to the stud, and it might involve new construction or it might not, but it's a much bigger piece than what I'm doing here. And the last is, I'm giving up on it. I can't do anything with this asset, and I shouldn't do anything with this asset. I want to pick up my toys and I want to bring them over here, wherever that may be. Right? So that's one of the great sort of innovations with RAD, is this transfer of assistance, that I don't have to be stuck with an asset that if in your community it doesn't work for you, I can move it somewhere else. I can take that assistance and move it somewhere else. And now we won't go into sort of there are other sort of requirements you have to be met in terms of fair housing and sort of where you put it and all, but the fact is you're essentially saying I'm walking away from where I am now and I'm going to put it somewhere else. Either in part, I either doing the entire site that way, or maybe there's just a portion of the site that I want to do it. So those are sort of 4 models. And so again, I'm going to turn to Ann and Sandra for a second here and to say, I saw a little bit of all in the presentations. And Ann, as I remember, your agency has at least a couple properties where you're thinking of, maybe I'll convert now, but I'll come back later and do the tax credits. And can you talk us a little bit about that?
Yeah, we have three of the oldest public, I shouldn't even say that. We have the three oldest public housing properties in the nation. There are some people out there who are going to dispute that, but we, Austin, consider them the first public housing properties in the nation. They were built in 39 and 40, and it's three properties, and I knew there was somebody out there. I'll tell you the story of Lyndon Baines Johnson another time, but he was instrumental in making sure that the names were read in alphabetical order, so Austin was first. Anyway, back to the three properties. So we have these three properties that were built all at the same time, and these were three segregated properties based on the world at the time, and this was so these properties still stand in much the same way they were built. They have no AC, it's cinder block walls. They are not accessible at all in any way, shape, or form. They're two-story units. They're just, the Housing Authority's done a great job keeping them up. They're just not, it shouldn't be lived in anymore. And so we wanted to scrape them and do 9% deals. The problem in Texas is they're all within a mile of each other, and you can't do a deal within a mile of each other in Texas in the same year. So while we
For 9% credits.
For 9% credits, thank you. So we probably could have gotten awards on all three, I would guess, in the same year, but we couldn't do them all at the same time. So we picked one to do first, and that's the one I was knocking on wood. We hope to get the award at the end of July. But the other two, because of the way the RAD timelines work, we're going to go ahead and straight convert in June, with the idea that in 2019 and 2020, we can go back for in the 9% round for each of those two properties.
That's great. Sandra, I saw from your photo slide that you've got a couple properties because you were able to do some recent acquisition or replacement housing that should be able to convert without any debt or anything, right?
Right. I do want to mention, too, that we had two developments that were built in 1939. And we demolished one. We did demolish one, and we went through SAC, and we sold that for $4 million. That's how we were able to build some of these other units. We have one that was built in 1939 that we're going to transfer. That's where we have the Willingham Village. We want to transfer that Chapel Ward. Again, we didn't have the money to rebuild those 100 units. They were both built around the same time. One was called the Color Folks Project, one was called the White Project. It was in 1939. So the one that was in prime property, we sold that for $4 million. The other 100 units that was built in 1939, they've been demolished for over 10 years. We didn't have the money. Now with RAD, now we can, and we want them to be project-based. And so what we're doing, we're building 66 units, and we have 66 units, phase 2 of Willingham Village, that once we get that CHAP, we're going to transfer the CHAP award to these 66 units so that I'll be project-based.
Thanks, Sandra.
You're welcome.
So before we leave the slide, just to say, the RAD office, we're indifferent. We don't care which option you choose. The basic RAD deal is, let's say you have 100 units, is give us back, except for 5% de minimis, give us back 100 or 95 units. Now, how you do that, whether you preserve it, whether you rehab it, whether you tear it down and build new, or whether you move it out, doesn't make any difference from us. That's really your call, it's a local decision. Okay, so we're going to go to the next slide, which is, so now if you've figured out what your project is and you've kind of a strategy for what I want to do, I want to preserve, rehab, how am I going to get this project financed? And so there are 4 major financing types, being I can either just do it with my own public housing funds. That I need a little money to set up an initial deposit replacement reserve to make sure my reserve is big enough over 20 years, and that's all I need to do. Or no, I've got some construction work I need to do. But rather than go out and take out a loan, I happen to have some unobligated capital funds, and I'm going to use that. So I'm either using public housing funds, or I'm using debt, or I'm using tax credits, or a combination of all of them. And of course, there's other sources of funds. There's CDBG, and there's other local city monies and trust funds and all. but they often are complementary, but they're not the driving funds. Usually it's these three that are sort of the primary players, and you've used all three, right? For almost every transaction. Yeah. And Sandra, are there any of those more recently built deals that you might not even need to put up any money at conversion?
No, we wouldn't need to put up any money, but what we're doing now with the project that we have going on now, for instance, with Willingham Village, we had a debt. I don't know if any of you guys who just received your child, if you have a debt on, we had the CFFP.
Yeah,
that you could only repay that back with CFFP money, with capital fund dollars. So we had to go through that transaction with our first RAD project. So we were able to get some home funds to supplement our tax credit. It was a 4% tax credit deal, and that's what we're doing now with the 201 unit that we plan to close in June. It will be a 4%, and I think we're doing an FHA as well.
Great, thanks, Hannah. So, last comment on this is to say, again, we're indifferent. We don't care how you put it together, except you can't over-subsidize it. And so that's why we have something called the subsidy layering review, and that's really to say, is there too much money in the deal? Because with scarce federal resources, if it's too much money there, then some other project could use it. So we work with you to do a subsidy layering review. But the other part is, we also don't want you to leave money on the table. So if it's your last transaction, you'll hear our transaction manager say to you, don't you have a little more capital fund that you still have in the bank, or some operating fund reserves? Because if you don't put it into your last transaction, it goes to Treasury. So we hate it when someone might come back 6 months or 9 months later and said, oh, by the way, I forgot to put this into it. So for your last transactions, really plan them through accordingly so that you don't leave any money on the table. Okay. What am I going to be? Am I going to be a PBV project, or I'm going to be a PBRA project? And we have this pretty good document on our resource desk, which needs to be updated, but we've been a little busy lately. But it's helpful in sort of looking at those key differences between choosing one versus the other. But it's one of the most common questions we receive. And in fact, we have some PHAs almost begging us to make that decision for them. It's so hard, I don't know which way to go. Should I go PBRA? Should I go PBV? So I'm going to cut to the chase here and simply ask Ann and Sandra, give me your one or two, you're doing PBRA, you're doing PBV. Why the heck did you choose PBRA?
Two reasons. One, the Austin Housing Authority has a subsidiary, Southwest Housing Appliance Corporation, that since 2000 has been the contract administrator for all the PBRA properties in Texas and Arkansas. So that's actually where I came from. I've been there since 2000. So we have a very deep bench on the regulations of PBRA, so that was a big driving factor. The other driving factor was, and I don't know a lot about PBVs, but I know enough to know that there's an admin fee and it can get prorated. And PBRA doesn't have that. The rents are the rents are the rents, and you get your OCAS, and so we felt that it was a little more stable than the potential proratable admin fee of PBVs.
All right, thanks, Ann. So Sandra, Ann's a PBRA advocate. You're a PBV advocate. So what drove you towards PBV?
Well, the Housing Authority would like to manage all of our properties eventually. We have already been approved to manage the two we're getting ready to close on RAD. So we already have project-based vouchers, so we'll get the management, the administration fee, and the Section 8 can continue to work with the management agency, I think, to get these units leased up a lot faster.
All right, make your own decisions based on what you just heard there.
Now,
Okay?
if you don't have, now we do have another housing authority, and this that I've been working with, she does not have any PBVs, so she's reaching out to another county, and I don't know if she can do this or not, and she said, well, we may have to go with PBRA, or she can reach out to another county. It's to our advantage because we already have Section 8, so why do we want to reach out and let her manage our Section 8, so we can do it well? So
just for unique historical information, is that Georgia, there's only a few housing authorities that run a Section 8 program in Georgia, and something having to do with when the voucher program first got started in 1974. And so Sandra's agency happens to be one of the few that does have a voucher program. Just the one thing is, if you do not have a voucher program, HUD doesn't allow you to create a new one if you want to do PBV. You have to hook up with another entity in order to be the PBV administrator. You can't. We're not in the business of creating new PBV programs in agencies. Okay, thanks for your frank honesty on both those. All right, so we're going to take both of these together. Sort of, do I self-develop or do I self-manage? And this is a pretty easy decision for PHAs when you're not taking on any debt and you're just doing a preservation transaction, because you may not even be changing the ownership. You may still continue to own the property as is, but these issues of self-development and self-management becomes much more important and critical the more you go up the scale in terms of the tax credits and whether you're getting sort of private financing as well. So, Ann, in your case, first of all, let me ask you, does your agency own or develop any stuff outside the public housing program? Do you have any experience being a developer, manager, owner of affordable housing other than public housing and RAD?
We develop and own, but our non-housing authority properties are managed by the third party.
Third parties, okay, all right. So in RAD, in those properties where you've needed to get tax credits and the loans, are you being the developer? Are you being co-developer? Or are you stepping aside completely? What are you doing?
Yes. So on our first transactions, the debt only and the tax credits, we're managing. For the tax credits, we did self-develop. We brought on a consultant who has a tremendous amount of knowledge with the Texas TDHCA, the tax credit program, so she helped us a lot. We couldn't have done that without her. But so we are self-managing, and our intention had been to self-manage the whole shebang, all 1,800 units. Having now gone through 1,100 units, and we're now approaching management of a brand new 9% with extra affordable, and having to do lease up and everything, and just seeing what the conversion has put our staff through, it's tough. I mean, Tom mentioned it's a whole mindset shift. We are now talking with our developer partners. We're working with developer partners on the 9%. About the potential of giving them maybe a couple of years to manage, to do the lease up, and a couple of years to manage. And we're talking about part of the RFP being, and you train us at the same time, because we do. I mean, you mentioned we feel that we manage our residents best. We don't want other people to manage our residents. They don't know our residents. People who manage affordable are different than people who manage public housing. And so we want it back, but that's where we are now. We're still exploring that, and we may well not manage them.
And you may not, and you're going to have to do some convincing of the lenders and investors too, right?
Yes.
Part of it?
Yeah, I think we could probably get them to come along because of our track record, but yeah, we would.
Right. And this issue of self-management is even more critical for the smaller the agency. If you have a large agency and you're converting a project, if you need to bring in a private developer to own the property and then also to manage it, you could absorb through attrition and whatnot sort of the staff and move them over. That's much harder to do if I'm a 100-unit housing authority. I'm converting to RAD, I'm doing 4%, and the developer would like to do the management. What do I do with my staff? I can't absorb them somewhere else. So, Sandra, you've had some experience with this, and also your state HFA has some specific requirements about being eligible to manage that sort of drove what you did for your first deal. Can you share that with us?
Well, with the first deal, we were not able to manage. We didn't have the experience to manage tax credit, even though they were happy with the way we managed public housing. However, we have had an opportunity to manage a tax credit property that was a troubled tax credit property. It was 88% leased up. Within a year, we had them at 100% leased up. So that agency, the investor, I guess the bank, decided, okay, so you can manage. So with the new projects that we're getting ready to do now, we're using this same, as I said, Boston Capital. It's okay to say that. Yeah. We're using Boston Capital again. They were very happy with the way we managed this other tax credit property in Rome. So we don't see any problem with them allowing us to manage these new developments that we're getting ready to close on. And we also want, if you've seen, we're building Joe Wright Village. We are the general contractor. So we're hoping that they will allow us to build or to renovate these 2 projects that we're getting ready to close on. We're saving 21%. We're saving the 14% overhead, and we're saving the 7% taxes. We're paying for everything with our American Express card, so we're not paying taxes. Then we're getting points. That's how I flew here, using my American Express points. So we're being very creative, and we hope to build or to renovate these new projects that we're working on.
Thanks.
Sorry, I probably
Thanks, Sandra.
said a little too much.
Okay, so we're going to go to our last topic, which is RAD and Section 18. And so, and that is, if I am eligible for Section 18, should I do Section 18 for all or a portion? And can I do that? Does RAD allow you to do that? So, Jane, thank you for being so patient. I'm going to have you go through some of the highlights in just a second, but I first want to make a point that between RECAP and the SAC, we want you to make the decision that best works for your community. And believe me, our feelings will not get hurt if you give back your chap because you've decided to go Section 18, if that's what's best. Although we will, again, be grumpy if you dither and take a long time making that decision, all right? So, so Jane, I'm going to give you the slide there. Go ahead. Tell us about the intersections.
All right. So essentially what we do want you to do is look at your portfolio. And this should be, you should be looking entirely at what you own and trying to make decisions about what do your oldest properties look like? Should they be renovated or should they be scrapped? And then trying to decide which ones should go RAD and which ones fit under Section 18. Section 18 can be a fairly powerful tool. You can pretty much do quite a bit under it. You can dispose of all your property, you can demolish your property. If you have excess land, we can take the DOT off. You can retain your property without the DOT and do what you want with that. So there's a lot of things that you can do. So think of us as sort of the back end of RAD. We can come in and clean up. We can also work in conjunction with RAD. We've now, under our new notice, actually have a provision which will allow you, even on one project, to do part of it as RAD and part Section 18, just in an effort to get some of the cash flow better. So towards that end, again, so there's several things that you can, several justifications that you would need to do to come into Section 18. We need to see if it's obsolete. And Congress has defined obsolescence as if the cost to bring the building up to a reasonable standard is 57.14% of the total development costs, and these are all numbers that are published by HUD, so not that complicated, but getting that number is kind of hard. If it's an elevator building, it has to be at 62.5%. So things to be looking about at when you look at your building and to figure out if it can meet obsolescence, look at your local building codes. If you're on a coastline, my guess is you've got hurricane coverage, and you're going to have to bring those buildings up to that code. There's probably a trigger point. I know in Cook County, where I live, if you're putting in 50% of your rehab costs of the assessed value of the property into rehab, you have to meet all the codes. So there's that trigger point. In Massachusetts, it's 30% of the assessed value, and you have to do all the ADA, thank you. Sorry. So you have to meet all the disability codes. So check your local building codes, get to know them. You're going to have to work with them eventually as you get to know your building inspectors. You're going to need to know those people. They're important people in your communities, and they're all different. Literally every community has their own, every jurisdiction. So you tell us, we're happy to work with that, but you're going to be the ones that are the experts, not us. We also will look at location as obsolescence. We've looked at buildings that are literally at some intersection out in the middle of nowhere. I don't know why HUD built them, but they did. And they can't lease them. They can't be leased. Nobody's interested in moving out there. Let's look at those. Is it next to a highway? Is the noise level too high? And we also know that there are several now that are being built, that were built originally on Superfund sites. So let's talk about those too. So those can all come into us. We can get you vouchers and get those buildings disposed of in some way. Health and safety is a big factor. If you've got any reason to believe that there's a health or a safety risk in those buildings, we need to look at those. And those can be vouchered out. We can give you the tenant protection vouchers, move the residents out, and then either dispose of or demolish the buildings. There's a more efficient and effective if you can, this one's a little bit different in that if you think that you can provide housing in a more efficient or effective manner, whether it's through rehab or building off-site or whatever, we can, in this case, we'll only give you up to 25% of the occupied units. So if you're building new public housing units and you still need 25% in vouchers, we can do that. We need to know what your relocation plans are for that, because you're going to be responsible for the other 75%. We now have it so that scattered sites can be disposed of. We define scattered sites as up to 4 units in one building, and they have to be not contiguous. So they should be scattered. That's what we're looking for. And we will give you vouchers for those as well.
And Jane, so is it an automatic, I got scattered sites, I get Section 18, or do I have to prove something about those scattered sites?
Well, you got to show us that they're not contiguous.
Yeah.
So send us a map, please, and make sure we know how many units per building. If you've got a 6-unit building, it's not considered a scattered site.
But in terms of the standard is, I still have to show operational and feasibility, or just any scattered site, can I just now get approval for Section 18?
We'd prefer that you'd show us some in operational and feasibility, but we've kind of gone under the assumption that it's hard to manage, because if it's single-family homes, they probably each have their own HVAC system,
Right.
which is completely different than the one next door, and you got to get a different somebody who knows each of those systems to come in and fix them. So it's not like you can have a janitor come around and do each one, unless you've got a really good handyman. So we understand that those are kind of complicated. Okay. And then the other is the very small, 50 units or less, and we do expect that you will close out, that you'll come in, get the vouchers, and close down your public housing portfolio at that point.
Is there any PHA that's here today that has 50 or fewer units in their public housing program? Someone does? All right. Because we had at least, we thought 10 or 12 that were on the waiting list. We weren't sure because of travel money, who they would attend the conference. But a shout out to you. We'll be hooking up with you with our transaction managers shortly for any such PHAs, because this is a game changer, right? So before you applied, all you could do was RAD. Now with the new Section 18 notice, if I have 50 units or fewer, then maybe your best option is Section 18. Maybe it's not RAD, but we want to help work with you and with the SAC to figure out what's best for your community. And Jane, this 50 units or less doesn't mean that necessarily just a PHA that was always less than 50 units. If I've been whittling down my inventory and when I finally get to 50, this also qualifies, right?
That's right. So that's a major impetus of this. We know there are many housing authorities that have now converted a major part of their portfolio and have 40 scattered sites left. Come in and talk to us.
Right. Naomi?
Yeah.
Quick question. You mentioned that in all the...
Tell you what, if you go ahead and come to the mic.
Sorry.
I'm not loud enough. So in all the options for demo dispo, you've been mentioning tenant protection vouchers.
Yes.
Can we get clarification on whether that's replacement or just relocation? Because the saving of those vouchers after tenants move, I think, is going to be imperative for housing authorities to understand.
Right. if you're not replacing the units, if you're not building back and you're not bringing back public housing units, those are considered replacement units. And the replacement TPVs actually go into your inventory. So it is an increase. And as we said, as Greg said earlier, if you don't have a voucher program, you need a partner. And you need to figure out who your partner is going to be for those. Who's going to manage that inventory for you.
And so, Jane, I'm going to add two more distinctions to that. So, so if I, again, I've just used the example, I'm under 50 units, I have 45 unit property, that I say to the SAC, I'm applying because I want to get out of the public housing program. And if the units are all occupied, I'll get tenant protection vouchers for all of them. They are permanent. They're considered replacement, not relocation vouchers.
Right.
But I also, if that's what I want to do and it works for my community, I could in turn, if I chose to, project-base those vouchers as well. Is that right?
You can, I think you have to, and I'm going to hesitate on this, I do think you have to give the residents an option to move. If they choose to stay, you can project-base that. But I need to verify that.
Okay.
But I do think you can, but I think you have to give the residents an option first. So that may be a piece of that. Okay. And then we meant, okay, I'm going to keep going here, but and then for the RAD Section 18 blend, again, if you can either do traditional RAD, or if you need somehow your cash flow isn't working, you're not making the deal work, we can look at 25%. But all of those should be submitted to the RAD desk, and they'll make that decision with you. And then we will build, the SAC will actually come in and just build the Section 18 application for you and try to get that done.
I think probably sometime later in the session tomorrow or something, we may talk more specifically about this so-called RAD Section 18 blend, and that we either are just about to, or we may have finally come up with our guidance that will be posted this week on sort of how that program will work.
Right. Okay, and so we talked already about relocation and versus replacement vouchers. I do want to talk a little bit about proceeds. Again, we are, and we hope to soon put out a notice on proceeds and what you can do with those. And these are the proceeds from the sale of any public housing property. We'd like it can be used. There are specific uses that it has to be used for. It has to be used for Section 18 purposes, which include the modernization of existing public housing. You can put it in RAD deals. You can do development of new public housing, construction and rehab acquisition for RAD, funding of any home ownership for Section 32, and services, any kind of services that benefit PHA residents. And I'm pretty sure you can also use it in Section 8. For services for Section 8 residents as well. So at this point, the SAC does approve all of the proceeds uses. We will tell you whether or not what you're thinking about is eligible. If we say yes, then you still have to show the evidentiaries and the documents through your local field offices. And I want to remind you guys that these proceeds do retain a lot of the federal restrictions, so your labor restrictions, environmental reviews, fair housing laws, all that stuff still apply to these monies. So if you put them in to a RAD or any kind of a transaction, even if it's a straight low-income housing tax credit, it's considered federal for those purposes.
Jane, I'm sure in the minds of a number of people in the audience is, oh, this is great, it's great. But who wants to deal with that miserable processing times that it takes to get an application through the SAC? Oh, it's horrible. So do you really just hire ogres? Is that true?
We've now set new limits, and our goals and our targets is 60 days from when you get in So that's the goal, is we're trying to get them in and out in 60 days. And I will report, actually, I just checked, and in the last 6 months, we've been processing at 55 days.
That's
So,
terrific.
yeah, so we're working hard to get there.
She didn't say it, but similarly in RAD, just as she tries to turn around the Section 18 applications in 60 days, we try to turn around financing plans in 60 days, but there's an asterisk or a caveat to that, which is if it's a complete submission. Right? So,
That's with everything,
right,
with everything.
You give us a nice submission, we can meet that goal.
Right.
But the ability then to sort of work with the SAC and say, I think I'd like to do Section 18, but of course I need to know whether to be eligible. The fact that if you submit a complete submission in 60 days, you'll have your answer. But likely even before that, Jane's office, is a collaborative effort. You'll be on the phone with them sort of saying, well, how does this look? And they're happy about sort of sharing their views on your proposal.
That's right. And we will, even if you submit an incomplete proposal, we will get back to you within 10 days and give you the list of what's still missing. So we do see this, we know that it's not going to be a complete, everybody struggles at first. So we do understand that.
Right.
So
again,
we're trying very hard to help.
Last major point on Section 18 in RAD, you can go RAD, you can go Section 18, or you could also do some combination at the property of some Section 18 and some RAD. So if you have some thoughts about this and you think you might want to do Section 18, our encouragement is either first talk to the transaction manager or talk to Jane or her staff, and let's get a conversation going so that we can help guide you with that. So, so let's do this. Let's see if people have other more sort of questions from the panel. And I see one friendly face. Hope it's a friendly question. Walking up. Yes, Jaime.
Hey, Greg. So I'm going to talk about the elephant in the room, right?
Yeah.
So everybody's getting ready. They've got chaps, or they're expecting chaps. They've got applications going in. They're trying to run their numbers and launch their projects. And they're all waiting to find out, how is the rent going to get set?
Right.
So we had 2012 and 2014, 2016. Seems like every 2 years is a new rent setting, every time there's an increase in the cap. So how is that going to, when is that going to get resolved, and how do you think it's going to get resolved? Obviously, the new people who don't have chaps yet will get new rent setting, but what happens to people who have chaps that haven't completed?
Yep. So the Congress pulled a fast one on us. No one thought the capital fund, 6 months ago was going to go up by 42%. So it is the elephant in the room, which is, so how is the RAD office going to respond, and what are going to be the rents now that the public housing appropriation has gone up? We just will say to you, bear with us. We think just a few more days, maybe a week. We had hoped to sort of have this firm guidance today to tell you precisely how we're going to do the RAD rents now that there's the increase in the cap. There's a few more sign-offs we need inside the building before we can publish that. And so, again, we just regret that we were not able to sort of nail that down in time for the conference today. But probably, again, within a few days or in a week of this conference, we'll have it, and you can expect some pretty some communication from our end on how they'll be. So just on that end, just sit tight for a few more days. I don't know if anyone else from the recap office wanted to add anything on that, but I think that's as far as we can go right now on that. Yes.
Hi, I play a dual role. My name is Charlene Nimmons. I'm a resident of public housing, New York City, and also have a nonprofit organization that's about resident engagement and making sure that residents have true input. And as I'm listening, I hear you talk about Section 18. I hear you talking about RAD, the collaboration of putting the two together. And my concern is that a lot of those HUD regs that cover and protect the residents of public housing, we're losing them when you switch over to RAD. And that's a major concern. I am really trying to figure out how you decided not to use the HUD regs to cover RAD, or to say that those protections, they don't exist when you created the program. Section 18 is a HUD regulation. How do you then decide not to use a regulation that protects the residents and then try to create guided rules that don't really have any substance or have any power? I think that it's important for you to really reconsider all of those HUD reg protections and figure out how to build them in, not into guided principles, but into contractual documents that can protect the residents for real, not just some, oh, if we feel like doing it. And I think that using the terms or the language, we're not selling public housing, let's be honest, that you're privatizing. You're selling off the properties. And so we need to be honest with each other.
Thank you for your comments. We have a panel later today that will hit on some of those issues about resident rights and protections and all that. We actually think that we have probably the strongest program in HUD when it comes to resident protections, because there's an absolute right to return for every resident, and there are requirements about both before you apply to HUD for the program for resident consultation, and then once you get a CHAP also for the consultation. But what we'll do is we'll take some of those issues up a little bit later in the panel today. Yes?
Earlier you spoke about your 3 old buildings and that
Just come a little closer.
that you were using RAD and then going for 9% in a series. If you're doing RAD, aren't you having to make improvements to those older buildings through their PCA and through the 20-year needs? And so you're making improvements to buildings that you're tearing down or going to do the 9% on?
Yeah, we didn't have any critical needs. So we didn't have any have-tos. So we are doing, we have to do 2 things. We're doing a few little things. And really, the test that we used was, what are those weird little things that REAC likes to hit us on? And so because we're still gonna have to get REAC inspections. So we fixed a few of those. We also got the residents together and said, what are some improvements, understanding we're gonna tear this thing down that would make your quality of life better for the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years till we can do that. And then the other thing that the other impact was, we have a very big initial deposit to the reserve for replacement. So you have to do that 20-year schedule in the RPCA. So we had to borrow money to fund that initial deposit to the reserve for replacement. The intention is, though, that we won't have to use that reserve for replacement. We'll be able to use that as a source for the 9% deal because we won't have any additional improvements to make when we tear the property down. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's just kind
But
of...
you guys should connect.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Anybody have any other questions? No? Ben, how are we doing for time, and what's this? Oh, you're good?
So I'm just wondering, the 2 housing authority directors, maybe you can talk a little more about how it's changing your organization and the sort of the staff concerns and some of the other sort of organizational questions. I know we have a panel coming later, but just a little more in the observations about your organizations.
Sure. Go ahead, Yep.
That's a great question. I alluded to this a little bit earlier. How many folks have ever had their housing authority go through a software conversion? Right? It's horrible, right? It's so hard to go through a software conversion. Well, so RAD is a software conversion and a whole new program and resident relocation. And if you have tax credits, it's another new program. So it's been hard. I mean, I can't sugarcoat it. It's been hard. Giving the staff the training and support that they needed was huge. And we made it clear from the beginning, because we were managing the properties, that we weren't gonna lose anybody. And even if we were to change to third-party management, we would lose people to attrition. So that was a big shift for us. The thing that we didn't anticipate, though, that's been interesting is we've only ever done public housing. So everything that we do because public housing tells us to. And so now everything we do, we're not doing because public housing tells us to. So as an example, procurement. we have this big procurement policy, and it's like, well, so this is a PBRA property, so how do we procure this one? Well, we're going to have to think about that. And do we have this rule in place because it's a public housing rule, or because it's the way we've always done it? And if it's just the way we've always done it, do we like doing it that way? So having to work through all of that, it's an entire mind shift. And now instead of every property just being a public housing property, is it still public housing? Or is it just a RAD or PBRA? Or is it PBRA with tax credits? So it's been challenging.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
Sandra, any?
Well, it hadn't really been a challenge for the housing authority because we're not managing that one property. The only challenge has been is basically making sure that that property is being managed well and our residents are being taken care of. It's one thing that we noticed with tax credit and with it's primarily tax credit, is that now we have a resident was paying a $10 late fee. With tax credit, it's $50. And our residents are having a hard time with that. And then there's another tax credit property in Rome, they charge $50 plus $2 a day. And they're hollering to us. So we decided we wouldn't allow them to we won't give them our vouchers, because we felt like that was unreasonable. So that's why we want to manage. As far as the procurement, if we're managing another tax credit property that we've been managing for 2 years, so, I mean, that's similar to what we're doing with public housing, except the procurement is different and certain things, a lot of rules and regulations that we don't have. But other than that, it has not been a challenge at all. It's just worried about our residents.
And you had mentioned sort of the heartache of going through a software conversion, that's very common for PHAs to change out their systems over time. So I imagine the software you bought several years ago you had public housing in mind. And among other things, you don't have to report on the public housing assessment system indicators like we do in public. So is your new software sort of fit now for this new world you're in? What's that been like?
Not entirely, and I'm not the expert in this, but I'll do my best in answering it. So we implemented a software program that covered everything: our finances, our voucher program, our public housing program, I don't know, 8-10 years ago, and everything was going great. But this particular software company didn't have a PBRA module already developed, a tried, true, tested PBRA model. And anybody who works in PBRA software knows that you want a tried, true, tested PBRA software module. So we went with another company that had a module like that, but because we had just, within the last few years, transferred all of our vouchers and everything else in the agency, and again, painful, to this other software company, to have everybody go through that again, while we were also doing RAD, just didn't seem like a good idea. So now we're actually operating in 2 systems. The software company that we changed to has a voucher module and can do all the things that the old one does. But I really, really hope that at some point the head of the voucher program and the head of the finance department will say, okay, we'll get all under one roof. They're not ready to do that yet. And that has been, keeping those 2 programs running together and making them work together has been really tough. I would recommend find a software program that works for the whole agency, even as hard as it's going to be, because that has been challenging.
Lisa.
Hi, I'm Lisa. I work in Rehab, and I'm glad we're on the subject of software. And I wanted to ask you all.
Step up just a little bit, please.
I wanted to ask you all about our resource desk, which we're going to upgrade on this summer as the program has evolved, and if you can recommend what has been the most useful feature and what you think we can do to improve usability.
My answer is easy. My administrative assistant does all of that, and she said it's wonderful. Okay. She has not had any problems with the resource desk at all.
Oh, that's very encouraging. Great.
Yeah, I've had help too. My help sitting out in the audience, but I have spent a lot of time on the resource desk. Once you get to know it, the upload feature and all that sort of thing has been great. The thing I think that has been most challenging for me as I was getting started was you have a huge library of documents in there, and when I searched a topic, it gave me every single document in the library.
Yeah.
And so trying to figure out which one was the best, I mean, literally dozens, hundreds of documents, and so trying to figure out which one really would be the first source that I should go through for X that would have helped me in navigating.
Okay, great to know. And just one follow-up question. Did you guys utilize the public-facing data on RAD, like how many CHAPs have been awarded, what PHAs have received CHAPs? No, okay,
We didn't.
okay. Good to know. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Mary Ross. I'm one of the service providers in this industry, and I know specifically because I've worked with Brian in your organization. Can you speak a little bit to the challenges with designations, specifically elderly designations, when you guys had to redefine?
No, I hope I just
Oh, turn it off.
Honestly, honestly, Mary, no, I can't.
Okay,
I could bring Brian up here and he could do it.
I know. he
But
could.
my knowledge on that is about this deep.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
No worries.
I figure if I start to learn those things, they'll make me do those jobs. I don't want to.
Go ahead, Joe.
I'm Joe Schiff. One of my clients just emailed me and wanted to know they're scheduled to close their first phase of RAD, May 30th. Should they defer the closing to try to get 18 rents and a revised chap? They're really questioning right now what they should do. And we're speaking just among us.
Just what?
We're only speaking among us, Greg. That's all you got to do.
I think that our closing coordinators have been in touch with all the PHAs in closing right now to say, because we're about to issue the instructions on what the RAD rents will be now that the Congress has come out with the appropriations for 2018, that we may have you close but don't execute the HAP for another month or two, and that way, if what we come out with is a more favorable number, you can then still make that adjustment. So closing team, I just want to make sure that's where's Bev? Yes? No. What? So what? Hold on. Bev, come on and you can come to the podium. Come on, you can come up. Okay, so let's, Joe, great question. We are going to come back to that in the next. We'll come back after we huddle and update my instruction. Okay, so we know how important that is, though. Really. Okay. All right. So anyway, Ann, Sandra, Jane, thank you. This has been a lot of fun. We appreciate you sharing all your experience with us. Thank you. Oh, one last question. Yes.
One final question. I was just wondering, did you have a green or a energy conservation component to any of your RAD conversions?
So we do, and we can talk a little offline or outside with our members of our team. So just come on up, see me after break. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Okay, Tom. Thank you.